I know. Now, we were going to talk about something very interesting, a subject that borders on you and I, something that a lot of people have been complaining about, the mobile money fraud. Now, mobile money fraudsters continue to scam significant number of people, and they continue to fall victim to scams associated with mobile money. Now, just yesterday, we told you the story of how people are falling victims to various scam attacks. Now, this afternoon, we have with us MTN's head of Mobile Money Fraud Prevention Unit to help us all understand the risks, measures to avoid or fight them, and to win the war against MoMo fraud. We have a special report on the situation for you shortly. First, though, let's tell you why we believe fraudsters are moving to the MoMo space. If you look at what we've put together, it will tell you exactly, why fraudsters are moving. But just before that, let's bring back to you Michael Asher's report, taking a deep look into the problem.
Mobile money fraud has now become so pervasive. The motive is varied, but the bottom line is to get money from you. These deceptive schemes often commence with a seemingly ordinary text message, characterized by glaring grammatical errors. Spelling errors and poor construction in fraudulent messages might just be a deliberate strategy employed by cyber criminals.
When you see the bad spelling, it is not as if they can't spell.
Dr. Kenneth Ashiki, the Chief Executive Officer of the Ghana Chamber of Telecommunications, suggests that the use of poor grammatical constructions by the fraudsters is just an attempt to circumvent their new artificial intelligence-enabled system.
The confirm, maybe the R that is there, they will make it an S. They will change a few of the things in there so that once the AI is crawling it, he sees it, it's not what it is that he's looking for. So, but fortunately for us now, we're beginning to use AIs. So what the AIs do is that once they see all of this, they learn. So they start seeing the spelling mistakes that you want to beat them.
Other times, these fraudsters will call you with promises to lure you to send them money. Ohene Anoche was almost scammed weeks ago. He now knows the plot of these fraudsters very well.
No, they will just call you like normal call, and then he will say hello. So he will not even ask your name first. No, he will just say, "It is me, your auntie, who is in London." And then personally, I don't have any auntie in London. So I just said, which of my aunties in London? He said, "Oh, have you forgotten?" Then you mentioned some name. So I just said, no, I don't have any auntie in London. So, yeah.
As unsuspecting individuals continue to fall victims to various schemes, the tactics employed by these fraudsters continue to evolve.
Someone will just call you and be like, when will I receive the money? Please, I've sent you this money. Can you confirm? And several calls of that, several calls.
They were asking me, when am I paying my debt? So I asked, with debt? And then he said the debt I was owing him. The way the person responded again and spoke with me again, I realized it was one of these fraudsters.
Like I deposit 1,000 cedis into my account. And the person was calling me, I sent 250,000 cedis into my account.
So they have sent 250,000 cedis to your account?
To my account. I should withdraw it back to him. Then I went back to check my account and I noticed that, it was a lie. And I bossed up him by giving him some sense into his head.
Rose and Okwe have been victims of cyber fraud.
And when they called me, they said they've sent me some amount of 400 cedis. So I should check by dialing my PIN. So then I was very curious. My brother asked me not to do it, but I told him, being a good Samaritan, but I didn't know that maybe it's true or it's not true. But the moment I just dialed my PIN code, they just took the money. And later on, I called them to beg them that, please, the money was for something important. They should send the money back to me. But they refused. And I called MTN. MTN told me they would get back to me, but nothing.
The strange number called me. Then he was like, he sent me money, so I should check my account. But after that time, I didn't receive the money. So some few minutes later, the message came from MTN. Like, it was MTN, like if you receive money from MTN. But it was coming from a Tigo line. So but I was just suspicious, like, how will I receive?
The person introduced himself as a worker from a telecom company.
Yes, that he works as MTN and he sent the money to me. Then, all right, the message came all right as MTN, but it was coming from a Tigo line. So I started reading the message. I realized that there was spelling mistakes and all that from it. So I relaxed. Then he called again that he sent me the money. I checked my account. I should check my account that instantly. And I was like, no, the message you sent was even wrong. And this is not how messages appear from MTN and all that. Then he was pressuring me. Then I should just check my account number. And I was like, no, there's no way I'm checking my account. Because of that, he got bored. They started insulting me. I just hung up.
Mobile money operators are not even spared.
They will tell you that they want to check, they want to help you with some difficulties that you are facing in the business. For me, they've been calling, but me, the moment you said I'm from MTN, I'll just end the call. I don't listen because MTN has only one number.
The modus operandi has, however, evolved over the years.
You know, like Tino Achebu would say, when the hunter learns to shoot without missing, the birds learn to fly without perching.
Now, they pose as agents of some of the mobile networks under the guise that you are a lucky winner of a draw.
I'm Linda Ofori. Our calls are recorded for education and training purposes. So for detailed understanding, are you okay with the English or should I speak to you in any local dialect?
Oh, but you are already communicating in English. Huh?
We are 28 years. Could you remember the number of years you've also been on a network with this very particular mobile number?
I think about 15 or so.
Okay, so you're very close. I'm going to remind you of the year you registered the SIM card. So, MT, we thank you very much. We were asking all these questions to actually survey the network to know how good or bad it's performing.
From enticing phone calls promising rewards to posing as mobile network agents, the aim of the scammers is simple. Extract your personal information and use them to later impersonate you.
So we have a very nice package for you. And please, with the prices we have for you, have to visit the nearest MTN branch with your valid ID card, that is your Ghana card, to receive your package successfully.
Well, shortly we'll connect with our resource persons and hear from you as well. You can send us a message to 0244 638 629. So in case you have a question for our resource person, kindly do so. 0244 638 629. The number should be on your screens anytime soon. That it will be on your screen so that you can send us, your thought. Now, Isaac Kofi J is a lead data analyst here. We want to show you why we think that MTN has become that target where every scammer would want to use that. Kofi J, hi. Let's understand what's the data telling us.
I don't know if you can hear me. I mean, the mobile money fraud has actually increased, in a stratospheric manner over the years, where the number of cases keep increasing. And then also, if you look at the total amount involved in all of this fraud situation, the recovery has also slowed down. And we believe that the space is becoming attractive because of the huge volumes of transactions going on in the mobile money space. So I'll take you through data that was provided by the Bank of Ghana showing, the mobile money transactions over the years. So if you look at registered mobile money accounts over the years, cumulatively in the 10th month of last year, which is October 2023, we had reached 64 million active mobile money accounts, registered mobile money accounts. Out of this 64 registered mobile money accounts, about 22.1 million of them were active. And in terms of the total number of transactions, we had reached somewhere around 650 million transactions in a space of 10 months cumulatively. And what we believe is attracting people to target this space is the volume of transaction, which has reached 179.2 billion Ghana cedis over the years in the 10th month of 2023. Now, if you compare the mobile money, the value of mobile money transactions to other, similar means of transferring money or doing transactions, you could see mobile money is way ahead. So, for instance, in that same 10th month of 2023, you have mobile money transactions being around 179.2 billion Ghana cedis. Checks cleared within that same period could not come close to mobile money. It was around 25.8 billion Ghana cedis. E-Switch was around 2.1 billion Ghana cedis. GH Link, 56.4 million cedis. Direct, debits were around 5.9 million cedis. Credits cards were around 52 million Ghana cedis. Prepaid cards, 830,000 Ghana cedis. And internet banking was around 10.4 billion Ghana cedis. So you realize that in all of these figures that I've mentioned, mobile money is way ahead of them, and the volume of transaction as well as the value of transaction is significantly higher than E-Switch, than GH Link, than use of debit card, than use of credit cards, and even internet banking, which is currently around 10.4 billion cedis, as compared to mobile money of 179.2 billion Ghana cedis.
Interesting. Well, so that's Kofi Eje there with the data and why we think that people are targeting the MoMo market to perpetrate fraud. Now, in the studio here with me today is Godwin Kwame Tamakloe, General Manager, Regulatory Risk and Compliance, Mobile Money Limited. And he's here with me. Good afternoon, sir. Thanks for coming.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
How worried are you about all of these mobile money fraud that people do perpetrate on customers?
Very worried. You can't describe it, more especially knowing that I lead that division from our company. It's one thing that always keeps you thinking, even whilst in bed, as to how we can protect our cherished customers. So it's worrying.
This started not today. It's been some time now.
That's right.
Why is it still persisting?
I mean, wheresoever finance has been, take into consideration even the banks. They've been here almost 100 years. And fraud within the banking space hadn't changed, because that is specifically what the fraudsters are after, money. So wherever the money is, they will go for it. So it has been with us for years and it's still here with us. What we can do is to help work together as stakeholders, including our own cherished customers, to see how best we can manage such issues as we face them.
But I'm sure you've done, a bit of a research into this to understand why is this still happening. We cannot really do anything about it. What is it telling you?
Oh, not that we are not doing anything about it, but just to put it in context as to why does it keep happening. One is the volume of funds you have on the platform in general, within the mobile money platforms, with all service providers. It's increasing every day. And now, and today, maybe as of last December, you're having more than 19 billion Ghana cedis total on the platform.
Mobile money platform.
Mobile money total.
All of you.
All of us.
Okay.
And this had grown
billion.
Exactly. And this had grown from maybe 0 Ghana cedis as at the time we launched to this. So it's one thing that they are after. Again, is the weak link that they always seek within the chain as to who can we get to. Technically, can we hack the systems and pull the money ourselves, or can we maybe social engineer people to see how best we can get them? And day in, day out, we see that coming through as the issues more on the social engineering side, where our cherished customers, some way, somehow, fall victim to some of these issues that we keep drumming and educating people on. So basically, maybe the wins they are getting here and there also contribute to the fact that they want to still push. It's a whole enterprise for people. Just like you get up in the morning and you dress up and you pray to God, you're going to work to come. That is how some of them also work, as in, this is my enterprise, this is my business. I wake up in the morning and it's all about how do I, scam someone and get away with something that I had.
But I remember one of the reasons why the SIM card re-registration was necessary was so that we could deal with this kind of fraud.
Yes.
That's why I had to go and re-register my SIM card with my Ghana card.
Yes.
After we've done that, almost a year or so after, why are we still having this problem going on and we cannot arrest those behind it?
The SIM registration, from my perspective, from my understand, helps with the detection, investigation, and arrest. It doesn't prevent.
Okay.
As in, although we have done SIM registration and Godwin has gone to re-register his number, and I know I have his fingerprint and all those with NCA and NIA, it does not prevent the fraudster who thinks that Godwin has X amount of money on his wallet, and so I should initiate an attack against Godwin and see how successful I would be. So those, the typology, as in the fraud schemes, keep happening. But should it happen and affect a customer, then we go through the investigation processes with our stakeholders like Yoko, the Ghana police, and do the necessary arrest. The point is that maybe the victim is seeking that just when he reported, a day or two, you're able to arrest the person and then bring the money back to him or prosecute the person. Where the person says he lived, as data that you have, might not be where the person initiated the attack. So I could be living in Accra, I give you the data, I live in Accra, but in terms of our fraud network, I'm operating somewhere from the central region or from the northern region or from the Volta region. And so for that matter, then it takes time for you to do the investigation and then necessarily cause an arrest and then up to prosecution.
But isn't that easily detectable, that you can detect where I made the call from or where I initiated that scheme from?
Yes. So those are the signals that we pick. That is from even picking that one at a point in time does not necessarily give you where he is.
Okay.
You may have to do some trend analysis to see before the attack, after the attack, where are calls, where the person sleeps, proposed sleeping place, where he gets up in the morning. So there are things that you may have to connect as dots to be able to say, okay, most probably this is where these people are, and then you can launch your arrest process on that side. So it involves a lot of study and investigations, and sometimes it takes time. That is the truth.
How many people have you arrested so far?
So far, as in time, yes, it's been a lot. I can't put
well, let's limit ourselves to when we did the SIM card re-registration, because we knew that was going to help us fight it. So how many people have you arrested so far?
For just Accra, that I know of, about 10 people, and this involved groups. As in groups, we've worked with Yoko to make a swap of about 400 people.
Okay.
Just arrest of one leads us to the arrest of about 400 people.
Okay.
Right, and beyond. So numbers, I cannot put specific numbers on air just like that, but there's a whole lot of work that is being done by these law enforcement agencies in helping us arrest people.
So just to get it clear, you're saying that you've arrested about 10 groups, which is made up of a lot of people.
Exactly.
10 groups.
10
made up of a lot of people.
Yes.
So one group could have about how many people?
400. I mean, the last one that Yoko worked on, about 400 people.
One group had
yes, and they were in a room, right? A whole room, like a church place, where they set up, and that is where they sleep and work day in, day out. You have laptops and all those kind of things. There's some information we can't give on, So yes, I mean, behind the scenes, people are working.
Wow.
Yes, people.
Wow. So people set up offices.
Oh, yes.
Like that. You have 400 people in there and they're scamming people.
Right. Right. And that is where they sleep. And it's in batches.
Okay.
It's in batches. And you have cells in certain places. I can't mention it. You have cells in certain places and you pick one person, and from your investigation or interrogation with them, you get to know it's from a particular cell. And you will know this cell operates from the Volta region, this part of Volta region, Central region, this part of Central region. And you're able to, move into for arrest, yes.
So out of these people, how many have we successfully prosecuted and jailed?
I don't have the number of.
You don't? Okay. All right then. Now, some of you also sent in some questions to us who would bring that up so that we can get answers for now. This one from Patrick in English, Amanfro. He says, every time I report that I have wrongfully sent money to someone, they tell me they are working on it. Please, why is it hard for you people to return my own money to me? Why?
Wrongly sending money to someone has different implications, which we need to understand whether really that transaction was wrongfully made before we do a reversal. You will have instances, and permit me to give an example of somebody who will go to church, right, and make a sacrifice or offering, whatever they call it, and then just after church will call back and said, I made a wrong transfer to a church's account, some way, somehow. And then we need to go to the church and gauge, do you know this person? Is he a member? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, this man is a member. He promised this amount of money during their harvest, and he made the payment today, and this is the receipt. So if you just, based on the complainant's words, and you proceed to do a reversal, then you know there's a problem. You have somebody who had gone to a carpenter, went to somebody's place, and did whatever they were supposed to do. He says, I'm finished. The person pays 2,000 Ghana cedis. Now he come back home and he realized that what he requested isn't what the carpenter had made, to the best of his knowledge. And then he calls and he's asking for a reversal. You need to now understand what actually happened. And then later you get to know, look, he just want to take his money back because maybe the carpenter didn't do something well, which he could have just gotten in touch with the carpenter and asked him to come. So it involves engaging the other party involved to understand really what happened before. So normally it takes between 5 to 15 days for us to do such reversal, unless there is a dispute. I send it, it is mine, it is not mine, and then that goes some days further for us to do investigation to understand where we can place this before we do a reversal. So, my brother, it's unfortunate that it's a bit worrying, but we need to do the right thing so that we put things in place to ensure that both the recipient and the sender are happy about our services.
Okay, all right. I remember once it happened to me. We were doing a fundraising, someone sent money. I saw a message from MTN saying that the person says you have to, take it back, it was wrong.
Right.
They called me and I called the person and said, oh, no, you're not the one I was referring to. So it was a wrong indication. Well, that's fine. Another person sent us a message, so we'll get that up. Atukwe in Teshi says, immediately I received money from a friend. A fraudster called me. I didn't know at the time. He said the money was sent to me wrongfully. I didn't understand then. He asked at least I checked my account. I checked. A few minutes later, all my money was withdrawn. How did they know I had received money? I was going to ask that. I think there is an insider in the telcos. Again, how did they get my PIN? Because I didn't mention it to them. This is interesting.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
But very simple to understand.
Okay.
One, you see, we have millions of transactions going on our platform on a daily basis. It is just not possible for an individual just to be looking at with your eye manually the millions of transactions. These are per second or per millisecond, because it's real time transaction to say somebody is sitting behind watching it and see that there's a transaction to A, B, or C, and so calls. What happens is that before they initiate a call to you, they have worked on you and are working on you As in, somebody would have just run the numbers using macro Excel. Any university degree or SSS can do it, which they do. So they run the numbers, and then another group will pick these numbers and then start checking. You see, if you want to send money to someone from our platform, when you are asked to enter the PIN, the name of the person comes. And then they pick that name, they put it down. And another group works on the balance. Now, how do they get the balance or closely to the balance? So they initiate, they might have agent wallet and initiate as if they want to do a cash out or a payment, a POS payment. They'll do 1,999 Ghana cedis, 998 Ghana cedis. So that is somebody's work. So when they trigger and there's no response to them, then they know you have something around the value they wanted to keep.
Okay.
Right. So it's like me doing a cash out. If I have 1,000 and you initiate a cash out of 2,000, the transaction fails.
Yeah.
So I'll see that no, this guy doesn't have the amount I'm initiating.
Okay.
So I do 1,000, it fails. I do 999, it fails. I do 998, it fails. Like that, so maybe you get it to 900 and it goes through and it doesn't receive anything. Then the idea is this guy might be having at least up to 900 Ghana cedis in his wallet. Then the attack is initiated.
Oh, so they have a system to see my balance.
Not to see, but to guess.
To guess it.
Exactly. Okay. And these are POS or agent account. As you go to do your cash out, the agent initiates a transaction.
Yes.
And then you have a pop-up message.
Yeah.
Now, if the money in your wallet is less than what the agent was initiating for, that transaction would have failed. And then they will know that it doesn't have that much.
So they are using agent numbers to do that.
Agent and POSs. And now this one is basically the POS one, where before they call you, they would have initiated a kind of a payment call to you. And so when you pick your call, you are speaking with them, and then they ask you, you check your account. In checking your account, you will be initiating or inputting your PIN.
Okay.
But then the pop-up message would have come on your PIN whilst you were answering the call. So by that, just going back and then dialing and initiating, entering your PIN, their pop-up message might be the one you are entering the PIN in. And they end up moving the money because their pop-up was to make a withdrawal or a payment, and then you entered.
But
and you might be thinking that I was initiating the transaction to check just my balance. But there is a pop-up message that had come on top of what you were initiating. And most of the times we don't read, what the pop-up message is saying. We don't read as to whether it was the check balance you were checking
or something else.
Something else have come up, and then you enter your PIN and the money is gone. So basic, he cannot ask you to check your PIN in whatever it is. There is no law that forces you to respond to what they want you to do. So you take your time. I will check. And if I confirm that you've truly sent me money, I will get MTN to do it for you. Then you take your time and call MTN to confirm what they have said, that somebody have sent you money, whether it is true or not. Can they confirm the amount of money that they send? Because guess what? They can send 1.00, and if you don't take time, they will tell you that they send you 100 Ghana cedis. They will actually send you 1 Ghana cedis, and you receive the SMS, which is from us, a true transaction, 1 Ghana cedis. Then they call you saying they send you 100 Ghana cedis. 100 is in your mind. When you check the notification, you might be saying, oh, it is 100 Ghana cedis, and you might initiate a 100 Ghana cedis transaction back to you. So take your time and let MTN or any service provider whose platform was used to call you to do the checks for you confirm it before you take any decision. Don't in any way hurry to say you are responding because the person called, and they'll be, disturbing you with calls all the time.
But this guy's question says,
yeah,
my friend sent me money immediately. I had a call from them.
Yes.
So how were they able to tell immediately when someone sent me money that
That is why I said initially that before they call you, they are working on you or they've worked on you.
So you're saying
somebody
it would be a case of mere coincidence?
No, it's not. I wouldn't say it could be mere coincidence. It could also be that in the process where I was doing the test to see whether it was 1,000 Ghana cedis or 900. I did 1,000, it failed. Now I'm doing 900 and it goes through. Now I do 1,001, it goes through. This guy has something more. Can we call? So it's a whole setup where division, or if you want to see division of labor, this is what they call division of labor, where you have sales group of people who are just working on these things every now and then to the next day, and then another group comes in like that. So people will say, why this, why that, why that? They don't just get up and call you. They would have worked on the number, this number we want to call today, attack today, maybe for 2-3 days before even calling.
It's very, very interesting. Anyway, we're still learning. So let me bring another question. Philip in Cape Coast says, I'm a victim of this MoMo fraud, and my major problem is the MTN customer service line 100, which doesn't allow customers to contact service agent to confirm some transactions at the instant.
Well, it could be that there are people on the line. I mean, 100 we don't charge, and once you call and you have probably patience, because there will be other people on the line to call. But apart from the 100, you could visit the service center. You could send even a text. You could send a text.
To which number?
Or what the *170 that we use, right? You could dial the *170 and go to fraud report and at least send a text and say, this is what had happened, I need confirmation. And somebody from our side will take a look and then get back to you.
How many people know that?
These are channels that we always talk about as to how to contact us.
*170
*170. Just the normal channel that you use for transactions.
Which number is that?
It's our normal, for example, for MTN. That's the normal channel for transactions.
I get it.
So
the *170.
Then you go to option 6,
okay,
which is the wallet, and then you have, option 6, you have fraud report in one of them. Then you select that one, and they will ask you which number called you, whatever it is. You input all those information and then you send. So is that the 100, or you visit our service center, or you do the *170 to report, or you even send a mail if you are somebody who can send a mail. Yes.
And your email addresses?
You can send it to mmfraudteamgh at mtn.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now we have more questions here. You can send yours to 0244 638 629. 0244 638 629. Now, Joshua says, please, why should the fraudsters have a different number? Aren't their numbers registered with any ID? Why can't the telecommunication companies fish them out and block their numbers?
All right. So in terms of numbers, I'm not too sure the different number he's talking about.
I'm sure probably, he brought in the ID.
Yes.
Why are you not able to say that maybe this number is Samuel Kojo Brace's number?
Yes.
Yeah. Why can't the telecoms fish them out and block them?
We're able to pick. I mean, blocking is the easiest of all the issues around investigation. Because once you call, the law requires that if there's any suspicion on a particular account, we should block it and prevent any transaction from going through. But sometimes blocking the account at a particular instance also gives a tip-off. Right? So sometimes as part of our investigation, we will suspend just to allow partial transaction. Money can come into that particular person's wallet but cannot withdraw. So that you don't give a tip-off as in he cannot do any transaction with it, and then he realized that, this has been done, and so then I have to look for another means. So yes, we do the blocking. We are able to identify Godwin Kwame Tamakloe. These are the numbers. what's even interesting is that with your ID card, we are able to see all the other SIM cards you've registered and linked to that particular number, and all of them we are able to block it. Yes.
Oh, interesting. You can also send in your question, and then we'll ask Mr. Godwin for you. Now, this one says, these fraudsters have tormented me several times, almost on a weekly basis. Now, in November 2023, one of them called me, and when he realized that I had recognized his motive, he threatened me. Quote, "You think you are wise, eh? I'll still chop your money." Funny thing is, I didn't have money in that MoMo wallet. Andy from Bolga brought this one in. Okay, someone when you catch them, really they threaten you. You know, sometimes they even insult you. You know, but after all, I've caught your motive, so that's fine. So you are saying that. I mean, I'm interested in the numbers you saw in there. That a cell has about 400 people. What's the largest number you've seen in a cell?
To the best of my knowledge, that one.
400.
Yeah. Wow. That was that instant when they were arrested. They were there. But you have in the central region one undercover work that we did, were 2018, 2017. They are batches. So they come for a week, and another batch comes for a week from Accra, Kumasi, some other places, Takrade, and then they converge. Central region, I don't want to mention the name of the area, and they work so Monday to Friday, and they will leave. Another group will come for the weekend. They will also leave. Another group will come on Monday. So you could go do arrest, and probably you might end up just arresting that particular batch. But there might be more.
Wow, interesting. So are you winning the fight against these fraudsters?
That's a very slick question. Are we winning the fight? I think it's not about winning or losing, but we are doing as much as possible what we can. There's more also to do, but we are doing as much as possible from our side as service providers to ensure that our customers are, protected. But then you have other responsibilities on the customer, other responsibility as stakeholders, because it's a multifaceted way of fighting fraud. It can't be just one person fighting it. So the issue of we coming together as service provider within the ecosystem to work together is also very important for us to be able to get there. So for instance, today, we currently don't have any governance around should somebody defraud me on X service provider's platform, can they send a request that the X will block that account, right? They defrauded me, for example, on MTN, and it was pushed to maybe Vodafone or AT or G-Money, and then you request whether they can also block, but it sits in their domain as to whether to decide to block or not. So in terms of governance, that will help us work together and not just, working in silos to fight it is so much important that we get that one done to be able to, bring this issue down. Same way with banks. Today, the SIM card is not just a medium for calls, nor even just your payment transaction. It is also an access to your bank account because others have linked it to your bank account.
Yeah.
So it is also a way of bringing the banks, into the discussion and see how we all within the ecosystem can contribute towards the fight of fraud in Ghana.
Okay, so you're saying that it goes beyond MTN.
It goes beyond just one party, not even just mentioning MTN. It goes beyond just one party. One party cannot just stand up and say, you might protect yourself like you can protect your platform, but the platform are interconnected. And that is what even makes it quick for money to move, he defrauds you on MTN, he pushes it to ZPay or pushes it to Vodafone, he cash it out somewhere, puts it here, and today there's even crypto, although it's not legalized or licensed. People defraud people and quickly they push it into crypto, get the crypto and then go and then change it somewhere else and then they take the money away. So it's interconnected and we need to fight it as a unit than working on it silos.
What's the role of government in here?
I mean, basically, some time ago, the regulator had indicated to build some kind of a data, a database where these fraudsters and agents and stuff will be in, so that you have a centralized point where those things, could be also managed from there. But gradually, I mean, we hope that will be done as soon as possible. And from other stakeholders like the court, speedy
adjudication of those issues.
So from our side, what we've done in the past and will continue to do is build capacity. For example, our law enforcement agencies like Yoko and the Ghana Police, and also we do for the judicial service. So they understand our service and they understand the fraud typology, so that if somebody is before them and then arguing around a particular case, they have a context within which this happens and will be able to help us put these people behind bars ASAP.
All right. Let's just take our last question from our viewers, and then we'll come into this. Mrs. Derry says, I believe MTN should keep an eye on some of their workers, because I always wonder why these fraudsters have easy access to our numbers. My husband bought me a merchant SIM and we received a call from these fraudsters the following day. How possible?
It's possible. As I said,
How so?
Numbers are easily generated. Our numbers, they are easily generated. If I pick your number, let's take that your number is 0244 100. The next one is 0244 101, 0244 102, 0244 103. So those numbers are run down and they have it on Excel. And then they try working on it. If it's not activated, put it somewhere. If it is something, it doesn't have MoMo, put it somewhere. So they'll be running on these things, and you need to see it to understand the process I'm talking about, so that some of these things wouldn't be surprising to you. So that once a number is activated, you buy your SIM card and it's something that they've worked on, they will try to initiate an attack ASAP to see whether you have money in it or not.
But I guess when someone, this one, I mean, the next, we are saying that if they got to know that the merchant number was, say, 02053 something to maybe 200, they are sitting there and then trying to change. So 05 blah blah 201, 202, and then it fell to this woman's line.
They don't even know whether it's a merchant subscriber agent.
Oh, they are just calling.
It's just numbers that they have, and then they are calling, to see. And again, the way they initiate, the transaction. For example, there are some transactions that are limited. So if it's an agent to agent, you can't do payment, you can cash out. So they understand some of these things and be able to identify, this is a subscriber line, or this is an agent line, or this is a merchant line. But when they run the macros of their numbers, it's not something they know whether this is a merchant or
interesting. But when I call, you're able to know that I'm calling. Isn't that the case? Why are you not able to know that this fraudster is calling Kojo, is calling Amma, and that we have to put a spotlight on this number?
One thing is that we don't listen to calls when the call is ongoing. That's against the law. Right. So when you initiate a call, it's a normal call that is coming through to a customer. What happens during that conversation? You don't listen to it. So it's difficult for you to block a particular call when the conversation is ongoing. But then, should somebody report a case to us, then those are things that we're able to pick how many SMSs this person sent. Those ones we do have some filters that will be able to pick alerts that this number is using as a channel of attack because he's sending more SMSs than usual. Okay. And then you go to see some of the SMSs and you're like, no, this is an attack and you can block. So those ones here. But if it's voice, we don't listen to what is happening in terms of voice calls.
You seem to easily exonerate your staff from wrongdoing. You think that they're not complicit in this?
No. No, that's a wrong perception.
Okay.
That's a wrong perception. I can tell you where our staff are found to be culpable in any of these fraud cases, they are picked up by the police or Yoko. And some of them have been jailed. Some of them internally, if it's not something a civil or criminal, but it's administratively, it's against the courts, you are fired. You know, so no one should ever think that MTN specifically, we go soft on our staff. If you fall prey to some of these things, you are gone or you find yourself behind bars.
So some of your staff have been complicit in these operations?
Yes, and they've been arrested.
So they are the reason why these fraudsters...
No, they are not.
No. I mean, they are the reason why these fraudsters have been able to, you know, get a formula to then go about random calling of numbers to...
No, not necessarily. You know, not necessarily. A fraud typology could be developed by somebody. As if I do A, B, C, D, I can try and see if I can get this person or not. It doesn't matter whether somebody's from MTN is part of it or not. You get what I'm saying? So it is their way. Can we do this way? And then tomorrow they try it, they change it. And so you will see that the fraud typologies, the social engineering fraud typologies had evolved over. At first, it used to be anti-London. That one is gone. Other ones had come. So it's just their ingenuity trying to see how best they can. Not necessarily because there's somebody in MTN. Okay. But do we have... You know, in Chi we say Ephibia means that kind of thing. So, but if you are found culpable, our management, you know, don't take kindly to some of these.
How many of your workers have you picked up? And how many have been sacked?
I can't give you, but a lot have been sacked. But I can't give you
close to 200.
Not because of fraud, anyway.
No, we're talking about
those that are fraud.
We're talking about fraud.
No, I can't give you numbers. I can't give you, unless maybe my HR is able to tell you how many have been fired. But I can't give you numbers.
Okay. All right.
But I can tell you on authority, if somebody does something wrong, he's punished.
Mr. Godwin Tamakloe, I'm grateful that you came through.
Thank you.
And we hope that you are able. You keep on doing what you're doing to protect us, your customers.
Yeah, we also need your support in listening to the small advice we give, the education we are giving. Don't do this, don't do that. Just abide by them and you'll be safe.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Now, there's growing pressure on government to suspend the collection of levies into the COVID-19 recovery levy into a special fund that will help the country prepare for health emergencies. We'll bring you details of the story and more after this break. Do stay.